You guys ready?
Yep.
Hey everyone, James Nichols here, hanging out at American Musical Supply, and I'm talking to you today about something very, very special. This is the first time I'm ever talking about this amp today. This is the JJN 50. I'm in love with this amp. I love it. It's been a long time coming, to be honest, in a certain way for me as a player. If you have followed my trajectory at all with Blackstar, in 2019, I actually released my first signature amp, which was the JJN 20. I loved it. 2-channel, very simple amp, effects loop. It had everything I needed in it. And at the time, a lot of the places that I was touring and playing, it was sufficient enough to get me through the gig, throw a mic on it. But it got to the point where as venues started to grow and I was playing bigger tours, festivals, open air stuff, I needed more power. And I went to the guys at Blackstar and I said, I love you, I need more power. So I started to incorporate in my rig 100 watts, artisans, I did the Club 50, I used a bunch of different stuff. And what we ultimately came up with was going to a St. James platform, which is, I think it's one of their best amps they've ever created. Going to that platform and me putting my own cosmetic and audio touch on what I loved about that, and ultimately coming up with this 50 watter. It's a beast. It's 2 channels. And like I said, you guys are the first ones to get a sneak peek at this. We have 2 channels, right? I'm gonna click off on the foot switch. Comes with a foot switch, which is great for, on the go, if you don't wanna have any pedals, anything in between it. Having this foot switch really helps. And I said to the guys at Blackstar, I wanna have an amp that I can just plug into in any situation, any cabinet. I can show up with this amp and I can just rock. So that's what we did. The first channel, what I really wanted to get across was that kind of transparentness. It almost gives you that kind of shimmery goodness, but it still has that percussive attack. And if I play on that first channel, I'm gonna turn the reverb down just for now. And don't worry, I'll get back to it. But for now, just very, very clean. It was very, very important for me to retain the quality and the clarity, but also having a wide range. I wanted an amp that had a very, very quiet noise floor. I'm known for playing P90 pickups, playing all over the world with not only my signature guitars, but my old guitars. Sometimes when you get an amp, even on a clean channel, you'll still get that buzz. And I was very, very adamant with the guys. I said, man, give me no buzz. I want it to be clean. So every time I plug into it, I kind of can understand where I'm gonna go with it. So this is that first channel. And that first channel, it's really easy. The whole face of this amp is super simple. We have the channel 1 volume, right? And then we have our simple bass, middle, treble, and a reverb. And then we just have our master volume control, which is really nice. And right now, we have the master very, very low. There is this awesome power setting, which can help you when you're at home. It's essentially going between 2 watts. There's a sag position, which in my mind, when I play it, it just gives me a little bit more of a pull from the tubes. So as it gets louder, it's almost as if the chord, it's almost like it's stretching the notes. And it's a really cool feature. But right now we have the volume super low. So we're gonna keep it super low for now. I'm gonna start to add in a little bit more of the reverb. Here's that reverb at about 9 o'clock. Just giving us a little hint. And for me, one of the thing about the reverb that I love is I like to add it just as a little bit of an effect. Bringing it up to 12. Adding in. I'm very, very, like I need to have control with my volume knob and my tone. So I want that to be a very dynamic kind of range. So if I'm here and I'm, that's using that. Let's, just for fun, let's turn that reverb all the way up and see what it does. Pretty cool. Now moving on, we have channel 2, which is basically my bread and butter for this amp. Channel 2 is where I live when I'm playing live. So like the first time that I got this out, I was channel 2 just straight in. And the cool part about this is when we were modeling kind of the gain structure of this, I told the Blackstar guys, I want it to sound more open. I want it to be a very wide open vintage sounding kind of amplifier, especially on this channel. So moving to that channel 2, we have, and I'm gonna adjust around. I'm gonna do just everything at noon, just kind of give you a feel of what that sounds like. I'm turning this volume to the same spot it was at. The gain is all the way up on the first half of channel 2. And then I said, I want to have the boost. So if I want to live there and play all of my lead, all of my rhythm, and just simply use my volume knob, it's right there at tap. So we have, starts to get a little bit more, right? And with that, I wanted to have the retain of the brilliance of the channel 1, but you start to add a little bit more of that kind of, I guess a little bit more of that underneath that aggression. So I can play those single note riffs, or I can just play chords and it feels. And of course, right now with the volume we're at, this amp, as you turn it up to that point where you're able to play with the drums, or even just turn it up over your studio monitors, whatever feels comfortable, it just starts to sound more alive. And just like a classic old vintage amp, the more you turn them up, the better it sounds. The guitar gets more harmonic and resonant. And for the moment now, I'm gonna turn the boost off, and I just have a tube screamer in front of it just to hear how channel 2, going into it, it's a great pedal platform, which is really nice because you can just stack on top of this. And there hasn't been one situation yet where something is kind of sounded, you know, where you can put a pedal in one place and it doesn't sound right. Everything has sounded great in front of this amp. And of course we have the effects loop on the back. So plenty of options for you if you're routing pedals through. Turning on that tube screamer, let's hear where it goes. Really simple. That tube screamer is just set right at noon. And then going on, I'm going to turn the reverb up just a little bit. And I'm going to go to the boost channel with the tube screamer. And let's have some fun. Sounds awesome. Another awesome thing about the JJN 50 is the fact that it has a direct out and it goes straight to a cab rig setting where you can actually go and you can pick online what cabs you want it to represent, right? But with this, you don't even need a speaker cabinet. You can just come right out of the back of the amp, go straight in direct to record, you can go straight into front of house. There's been times I've shown up at gigs without a cabinet, just with the head, went direct in, went straight through the PA, sounded incredible. I truly love this amp, and I've been touring with it since kind of I've gotten just the first run of them, and I'm so happy to see it out in the wild. I think you're gonna love it. Anyone that plugs into this, it's simply inspiring, and whatever guitar you plug into it, it's gonna retain the qualities and the characteristics of that guitar you love, and it just is gonna create a great platform for you to be who you wanna be. Simply put, this amp inspires me to play, and I hope it does the same for you. Check it out at American Musical Supply. James Nichols, signing out.